Greetings, 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 greetings. Greetings, fam. As my co-host, colleague, brother, Kyle would say, welcome to the Grand Rising Collective, where we try and uplift and inform the community. I'm gonna try and be real brief. Pretty much, I want to first of all thank all of you who have supported the channel. It's been a work in progress, to say the least. It's been fun. It's definitely been fun. It's been very informative. Hold on. I want to make sure that y'all can hear me. And it's real. So, but it's definitely been fun. It's been challenging over the course of producing the podcast, but definitely rewarding. It's been almost a full year. I believe this month actually makes a full year of when we launched this initiative, this collective called the Grand Rising Collective. So again, going back, I want to thank all of you who have supported us, all of our supporters. I think we're up there in 50 now, 50 subscribers, closing on 60. We do have a gift for y'all. We're going to do a little, you know how they do those rewards and, you know, that whole thing. Put in comments or whatever. So this is informal. It's not formal yet. But get used to adding comments, because most likely that's going to be the format we're going to follow. So the more of you who comment on the videos that we post with whatever questions, concerns, suggestions, those will be added to the list of who will give a gift to, promo gift, whatever that may be. We have some stuff up in here. We have like some smart devices and, you know, phones and all that. We got some stuff we definitely can hand out, but we definitely want it to be something of which comes from the support that we get from you. So as you know, our goal has been to get to 1,000 subscribers. The goal has been readjusted now to September, so we're in August right now. I mean, it's possible. Nothing's impossible. But once we get to that point, then we can make sure that we share the success that we've gained to you. Now, again, I'm saying this for a third time because it's very important. We really, really, truly, humbly appreciate and thank you supporters. I didn't expect us to get 50 subscribers within this time frame. So definitely there's something there. And obviously you think there's something there because the information that we're sharing is of use to you or someone you may know. So this will lead into the updates that I have. So I really want to thank you subscribers for tuning in. Also, I'm going to emphasize this. Now, we're not an entertainment channel. We're not here to do comedy skits and run pranks and stuff like that. I know that's the trend or the fad, especially as it deals with reference to YouTube, but that's not what we're here for. We're here because we believe it's a necessity that people be informed. There's so much information out here and a lot of misinformation as well that a lot of people don't even know. And I'm not talking about the misinformation. I'm talking about the, information that's going to help you succeed in whatever area that may be and whatever your definition of success is. So the people that we have or what we're trying to provide as far as content is concerned is information relative to that, especially as it relates to the community, inner city community. And I want to be real careful when I say that now. A lot of people use this word interchangeably, neighborhood and community. It's very important that you know the difference. There's been a book out for years, as a matter of fact, that's standing the test of time. It's called Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. You get a chance to read that book. I read it twice, outlined it and everything. And It's very, very informative with regards to ethno-segregation and ethno-generation, of pooling resources together as far as us as a collective, but more so as us as a culture. And this is not to disparage or put down or attack any other culture. So I have to say that. I shouldn't have to say it, but no. And if we're being completely honest, all of us across the scale of cultures, you know there's something wrong with that. You know that the attack that's been put on African Americans in this country, foundational Black Americans, foundational Blacks, whatever the title you subscribe to, there's been something amiss. And hence it comes from Black Lives Matter, the result of Black Lives Matter, result of George Floyd and all that. So let's not pretend we don't know what's going on. And in subsequent discussions and visit my channel, what have you, you'll hear me address this in certain ways, in certain forms, in certain contexts. But let's not play a game with that. We know what that's about. So as I mentioned, this channel is to inform and to enlighten and to uplift the neighborhood, so that way it may form into a community. We're not a community. And if you don't know that, if you weren't aware of that, well, here you go. Here's the information. We're not a community. We're a neighborhood, right? And what a neighborhood is a group of people, maybe of the same ethnicity, who live in the same geographical environment. That's all. And that's what we have as far as African Americans. We live in neighborhoods. We don't live in communities, right? Now, the difference is a community is a community where the people of that ethnic background or that ethnic culture has a stake in its real estate, has a stake in that area, meaning the schools, the businesses, the political representation, things of that nature. All of these entities represent that culture. So that means, and this is a community. And I don't want to get too long-winded into that, but that's the difference, right? So a community has a vested stake in that area, whether it's a block, whether it's a range of miles, whatever the case may be. That's the community. So the community has a say in what businesses can run and operate in that geographical area. A community, or the residents and the culture of that area, has a say in what schools are in that area, what curriculum, what subjects are being taught in that school. So there's businesses, there's schools, there's politicians, the whole nine. That's what a community is. And African Americans at this stage right now, which is a shame, do not live in communities. We live in neighborhoods. And that's the first thing you must understand if you want to, as we as a culture grow and uplift. So that's it for that. But that's what we're trying to prevent in regard, not prevent, but this is what we're trying to present in our conversations with this Grand Rising Collective. We're here to inform. Now, it's been a year. So if after this year you have not heard anything that you felt was useful to you, well, then that's your fault, because that's why we have comments. So in the conversations that we're having, put in the comments any disagreement that you may have, or any agreement that you may have, or anything you may want to talk about. Do that, because that's how we can make sure we collect the information that's going to be useful to you as a subscriber, as a viewer. So if the channel isn't meeting your needs as far as information, then it's not entirely all our fault. So that's what the comments are for. So that's why we want to encourage you to put comments in there and let us know what you want to hear, what you're interested in, and things of that nature. So, it's a two-way street, man. We're working at this together. So that's it on that. So now let's get to the updates, because I don't expect this to be an hour comment. I'm not going to talk your ear off for no hour. I've been told I'm very loquacious. Yeah, I know that's a big word. But it just means someone who talks long. That's all. So annual updates on Grand Rising Collective. As I said, it's been a year. This month, I believe, makes a full year that we started. Kyle and myself, my colleague, my brother in arms. If you've seen the podcast and the discussions, this brother's on point. But I got enough books in my library, brother, be hitting me with more books. It's been a year. So in that year, I have to say I am very encouraged and impressed by what we've accomplished as two brothers coming together, educators, entrepreneurs, in our consistency. So I'm gonna go into the updates further into that, but I'm very proud of that. So as far as the annual updates on GRC, we also I thank the subscribers, Kyle, and I'm speaking I believe for Kyle as well. Kyle, I got you, brother. So if I say anything that you don't agree with, as I'm speaking for us, please let it be known in the post and stuff like that. But I believe I'm speaking for the both of us when I say this. But again, we thank you, subscribers. That's the fourth time I'm saying it. I know for your support. We really appreciate you putting the comments if we're providing content that you're not finding informative. You gotta let us know. But we also want to thank our special guests. Special guest appearance. We've had many guests on the Grand Rising Collective over this past year. And I take my hat off to my brother Kyle. He's been bringing the bangers. You have been getting information from pretty much the people who he has brought onto the show. Some me, but not that much. But for all of you guests who have joined us on the Grand Rising Collective, who's taken time out of your schedules to sit and talk with us, to have a conversation. We really appreciate you. We thank you so much for the information that you shared. And in fact, I believe most of you, if not all, we're looking at doing a part 2, right? I'll bring you back on because, as you know, a conversation that we have spans about an hour, no more than an hour and a half. And there's so much more information that, we want to talk about, but we don't have time due to time constraints. So heartfelt thanks, speaking on behalf of myself and Kyle as well, with regards to the special guests. We really appreciate you. We thank you so much. And we look forward to having you back on in the future. So really, thank you. Thank you for your support. Also, I want to discuss, as far as updates are concerned, the lack of consistency with promotion and flyers. We apologize for that. Now, in the flyers that you see, we have Saturdays at 2 p.m. So, we're going to be doing something on Saturdays at 2 p.m. In fact, today is Saturday at 2:36. So we're putting every effort in to make sure that we provide you with some content every week, such as this. This is content. So it's not the typical interview or discussion that we have, but it's I would think informative because it's providing you with updates on what we're doing as a collective, the progress that we're making, the struggles that we're going through, the whole nine is part of the process. So with that in mind, we still, and I'm taking that ownership on me. I get some help though. I can't do everything. But I will make every effort as best I can under the circumstances to improve our promotion. We started really figuring out the technology and the algorithms and stuff as it relates to Facebook. In fact, I tried that today to promote this update, pretty much annual update to the various groups that we're associated with. But I had a challenge with that. But I do in particular want to improve on the promotional aspect, which means getting the flyers out to you at least 3 days to a week in advance, so that way you'll know who the upcoming guest is going to be featured on the show, as well as the topics that we're going to be discussing. And if some of you were paying attention to details, you notice that there's been a change in the flyer itself. We've been able to speak to a colleague of ours. Her name is Deborah. She's fantastic. I've been seeing her broadcast, and I'm not doing her a good service because it's she has a podcast coming on. So just text me. I'll try and put it in the description field of this video. But her podcast is tight. It's called Conversations. I forgot what it was in particular. But I'll put it in the description field at the bottom. But her podcast is no joke, man. They talk about real stuff, kind of like what we're doing. You see a nice little network developing as we do this. But we have to improve on promotion and flyers. We have to make sure that we get the flyers out to you at least 3 days to a week in advance, so you know exactly what is going on. We have insight on who's going to be the guest and what we're going to be talking about. And as I led into earlier, you noticed there was a change in the flyer. So we're trying to make the flyer more appealing. We're trying to make it not so wordy. So this is part of the process that we're doing, but definitely we have to improve on the promotions and flyers. So we're going to try and get that out to you 3 days to a week in advance. All right. So that's an annual update. And then the next one is encouragement during this pandemic. We have been providing guests, and we've been talking to some degree at length about what society is going through right now. I know it's tough for a lot of people. I know it's very challenging. I know it's very stressful. Kyle wanted to elaborate more on that in regards to how to effectively deal with the pandemic and its effects on the psyche of individuals. What he would definitely emphasize, and I completely agree with him, is your diet. During this pandemic, the best chance that you have of not only making it through and surviving, but thriving is to, if you haven't already, try your best to eat fruits and vegetables. Again, I'm doing a disservice with this. Y'all know who Kyle is. Y'all reach out to him. Eating foods high in minerals and zinc, vegetables, fruit with seeds, fruit smoothie. If you're going to put a fruit smoothie together, that way you have a combination of fruit. You put in there bananas, apples, oranges, raspberries, you just name it. Kyle would drop some real science on the types of foods you should eat. So I'm not doing I'm doing a disservice by this, but I'm trying to get you at least to think along those lines. Okay, so I should be eating fruits and vegetables at the very least. Yes, drink plenty of water, stay hydrated. These are little basic things that you can do that'll help you endure during this pandemic, which is, very important. And you will make it through. We will make it through. But it will take some effort on our part as individuals to take accountability and ownership of our own health. Part of which includes not being dependent on doctors and the healthcare system. You already know about that stuff. Or have heard to some degree what's going on in the hospitals, and they don't even know how to treat COVID. And they were, in the beginning, putting people on ventilators, which wasn't helping. It was just killing people. You hear all of it. I'm not going to try and, dump all that stuff now, because that's not what this podcast is about. But it's at least to alert you and inform you to what's going on. So it's in your best interest to look out for yourself and not so much depend on doctors or the medical industry field right now, because there's a lot of stuff going on, politics. I just read somewhere where the pharmaceutical company is really taking advantage and gouging patients, gouging medical insurance, charging high prices for medication that shouldn't even cost that much. People can't even afford their medication, and that's having a detrimental effect on their life. I'm sure people have family members who depend on medication and things of that nature and can't afford it. So it's in your best interest to take a vested interest in yourself and your own health and well-being. And it's not expensive. It's relatively economical. You just go to the supermarket and pick up some apples, some fruits, some vegetables, mix it into your foods, and stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water, lots of water. So that's it for that. So that's the one thing that, as far as a solution, because that's another thing we're going to gravitate back to. We kind of got off, but what part of our podcast is about also is providing you with solutions. So I'm just trying to give you some idea, get you thinking along the lines of, during this pandemic, how to survive it and to some extent thrive it. So when this is over, you come out on top. There's so many other things I would like to discuss in regards to the pandemic, but due to the sake of time, I just have to leave it there. So as far as the annual updates, we want to encourage you during this pandemic to just stay focused, stay in prayer. I forgot to say that. I don't know what your religious background is or your belief, But I believe in, God, Heavenly Father, and I'm also learning more about my ancestry, and learning about the different denominations and, shelving that and just really getting to know who the true creator is. So I want to encourage you to pray. I know the scripture has been written by man, and that's a whole nother, I got a channel on that in and of itself. But anything that's going to help your vibration reach a higher level, and higher level by meaning your creator, and not operate on such a low vibration. So real quick recap, during this pandemic, look out for yourself, your health and well-being. Start that by eating more fruits and vegetables, high in minerals, zinc. Stay hydrated, drink plenty of water. Stay in prayer to help you get through this pandemic that we're going through. So those are the general annual updates on the Grand Rising Collective. I'm going to start to close this out. Upcoming podcast. So this is what you can look forward to, subscribers, which we appreciate you so much. We're going to have more influential guests. In fact, we have a list already together that we're putting together. So there are going to be some more heavy hitters. This time I'm going to try and keep up with my colleague and start bringing some of my colleagues on. Their schedules are crazy. Trying to, you don't even want to know. But I'm going to get them on here. I have some pretty powerful people in mind that can probably meet up with Cal's guests that he brought in. So look out for that. It's going to be you're going to be very impressed with them. I'm sure you are. So we're going to have more influential guests on. We're also working on currently a 3 to 4 part series on relationships with a special guest that we had on already called Rochelle Lindsey. Now, some of you may not have seen that clip yet. You'll need to check it out. And that's another thing we're going to work on too, is posting more promo clips, like little 3 to 5 minute, clips that we kind of put out there already a little. Not getting traction. I don't know why, but anyway, let us know what you want to see. But we're really going to delve into relationships, because during this pandemic, you've heard a lot of stories. I know I have, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's more of an exposure type thing. So now during this pandemic, relationships are really being exposed. Whether the relationship is strong or whether it's weak, this pandemic has proven that. So what we want to do is touch on that. So we're going to have a discussion that will include Kyle, myself, Rochelle Lindsey as co-hosts, but we're also going to have at least two more people come on. And the general topic as it's being discussed is going to be co-parenting. So there are various aspects to relationships, right? During the pandemic and things of that nature. But one key aspect, or one specific aspect that we're going to touch on, and if you like it, again, put in the comments where you want more of it, but we want to be able to start that discussion or start that dialogue on co-parenting, what it's like to be in a relationship with someone who has a child already, or you have a child with this person, but you just can't be together. It just didn't work out, but you still have that child together. So how do you co-parent? How does that look? What does that look like? And making sure that child has both their parents in their lives, maybe not under the same roof, maybe not in union, quote unquote, but that child still has access to her father and her mother, or mother or father. And on a personal note, to touch on that real quick, I know how important that is. My parents separated when I was very young, in fact, 3 years old. And I can't tell you how beneficial and impactful it was to still have my dad in my life. Now, my mother raised me single family household. You already know how that is. That's typical. But my dad was still in my life. And now I didn't see him just on holidays and stuff like that. I mean, my dad played an active role thanks to my mom encouraging him in the early part, but he came around. But he made such an impact in my life, and it's a great contribution of who I am today because of him. So it's very important that we as a culture, African-American culture, deprogram ourselves from the indoctrination that we received due to slavery, generational slavery, that we try and focus and get that family unit back together in whatever way we can. So we're going to start the dialogue on the Grand Rising Collective channel, discussing that topic of co-parenting in hopes of that being the first stage of reuniting the family unit in the Black community. So look out for that. So that's going to be the general topic that we're going to touch on. There's going to be various aspects of co-parenting we're going to touch on. It's designed to be a 3 to 4 part series, but it may double because we might not be able to get as much information in within that time frame of an hour. So I believe that you're going to find that very informative, because one thing that's consistent is relationships, like death and taxes. I never really, I got it, but I'm messed up analogy. But another thing that's a part of life is relationships. You as an individual, it's very rare. They're very rare, few people who can go through this life without being in a relationship in some capacity with someone else. So at least we're going to try to contribute to that conversation with that. So that's coming up. All right. And finally, as I wrap this up, we're going to be doing collaborations with community organizations. So look out for that. You're going to, I don't want to mention any names because, we're ironing out the details. We're, putting the strategy and plan together with these various entities. But that's definitely in the works. So you're going to see some collaborations with some, I would say, pretty influential organizations that are out here now making big moves. What's going on? So be ready for that. But that's what we have. So now, that said, let me close this thing out by on the recap. And the recap is the annual updates, a special guest appreciation. First of all, we thank you subscribers again for the 5th time. Stay tuned. We got some stuff coming your way. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. But we really appreciate you subscribers. I had no idea we would have reached close to 60 subscribers at this point. Our goal is 1,000 subscribers by September. Hey, all right, we'll work on it. I'm sure it'll be worth it. The second update is the lack of consistency with promotion and flyers. We're going to try and get promotions out there. We're going to try and get the flyers out there at least to you 3 days ahead, so you know exactly who's coming up on the segment and what we're going to be talking about. We also want to encourage, encouragement during the pandemic. I think I went into that very detailedly, right? So the pandemic, make sure, take care of yourself. Don't depend on medical hospitals and doctors. You know how that is. So look into eating fruit, vegetables, drinking water, staying hydrated, stay prayed up. If you're not a believer, but understand that there is a creator. You got here somewhere, right? Not just through your parents, but stay prayed up. So those are 3 things that should help you endure and not only survive, but hopefully thrive through the pandemic. And then we have upcoming podcasts. So the upcoming podcast includes more influential guests. If you like the guests we had so far, you ain't seen nothing yet. I could tell you haven't. Again, compliments to my colleague and co-host Kyle. He's been bringing the bangers. I got to meet up with him. I got to catch up to these brothers. So I'm going to be bringing some people on too. It's just a matter of getting their schedules together. But hey, look out for some more influential guests. Also, we're going to do a 3 to 4 part series on relationships with special guest Rochelle Lindsey. So look out for that. The topics are going to include co-parenting. It's going to be very interesting. And I believe it, I didn't mention this before, but I believe it's going to help in the city youth as well, like the young people, as they enter into the whole dating scene. They're already in it anyway, but at least as they embark on employment and career development and entrepreneurship and things of that nature, hopefully the information that we'll be able to provide through the content we provide will give them an advantage, right? It'll help circumvent or prevent the stumbling blocks that they may face in terms of relationships. I'm not going to go into that, but look out for that. Again, it may not just be a 3 to 4 part series. It may be a double based on the conversation that we're talking about. We may have to continue the conversation to the next podcast. Oh, it's also going to be once a week, so look out for that. We're still ironing out the details on that. And then finally, collaborations with community organizations. We got some. We're in talks with some major organizations. So we're going to be doing some collaborations with them. So you're going to be able to hear more personalities, more perspectives on various topics as it relates to current events, as it relates to their success and the challenges that they face. So with that said, that concludes the update. If you haven't saw this live, like Kyle says, like, share, subscribe, and share with, people you think that might want to know what's going on with the updates regarding the Grand Rising Collective channel. Again, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, if you have any questions, just let us know. Enjoy your Saturday. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Talk to you later. Oh, one final thing. I almost forgot. Kyle and I are going to be doing a discussion later today. We're going to be talking about, what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about, Kyle, hang on. We're going to be talking about relationships, right? I'm going to share some stuff about relationships, but we're also going to be talking about education during COVID, the homeschooling, and healthcare, right? We're going to be getting more, Kyle's going to be getting more into that. So that's going to be later today. So we might do a live. I think most likely we're going to do a live again later today. So stay tuned. Tell us, this is my promo. This is my promotion. This is my flyer. This is my live flyer. So anyone who missed what I just shared today at our scheduled time at 2:00, let them know that we're going to be back on here live, YouTube live, later this evening. I don't know what time. I wish I could give you a time frame. It's going on 3:00 now, so probably somewhere around 6 or 7, maybe a little later, but no later than 8. So look out for us between 6 and 7 regarding a live feed where Kyle and I are going to be talking about relationships. I'm going to be hitting on relationships. I've been going through some stuff. But also education through COVID and healthcare. So stay tuned. See you later.